Royce Morales is the founder and teacher of the Perfect Life Awakening program, author, columnist, and expert on mirroring. She empowers clients with her profound process that helps neutralize self-sabotage, shift stuck patterns and negative thinking by locating the origins of limiting, subconscious programmed beliefs. Live an authentic existence. Discover your true purpose. Connect with your higher consciousness. Reset your life. Transform from triggered to empowered and attract what you truly desire and deserve by discovering what life is reflecting to you. Because it's all mirrored.
Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm so excited today because we're going to talk about why life is so heavy. Not only life, but especially trying to be enlightened, trying to be spiritual. It seems to get so heavy. And I'm going to talk about why that is. And, is it possible to lighten up? And how do we do it? And yes, a lot of stuff, a lot of heavy stuff, actually. And before we get into the light stuff, when I invite my co-host on, who calls herself a conscious comedian, and she's so funny and lightened up about everything. So I believe that one of the biggest purposes in life, besides everything else, is to reach a point where you see everything as light and joyous and fun, and that heaviness goes away. But it's really difficult because we're so attached, shall we say, to these physical bodies and trying to get people to love us and approve of us. And, we just put so much heaviness on all of that. Not to say that you shouldn't care about your physical body, but it's not who you are. We're here temporarily in this physical existence, but we start really believing that this is who we are. So everything gets so heavy. A lot of it is because we, like I said, just need approval and love and validation, and our purpose is so heavy, and changing the world or whatever it is that causes us to feel that way. And I am going to talk about why we feel that way, why life isn't joyous, and why things feel like a duty. And so let's go and talk about that and pull up my slideshow, which will give you a lot of reason for that. And the first slide, which I just love that illustration, is so funny. Many of us are living from a place of duty and suppressed hopelessness as opposed to joy and true power. And let's talk about why on that second slide. And just to give you a warning, it is heavy, the stuff I'm going to say, but it's stuff that I discovered doing my own inner work and working with thousands of people that discovered this as well. So pretend you're a spirit and you are looking around going, I want that particular body with those parents and this geographical location and this particular whatever. So it's not always easy to get that physical body that we're looking for. So maybe we want a particular type of body, or, our parents don't want to conceive us, or whatever it is. So it might be a struggle to get this particular incarnation. So let's go to the next slide. And guess what happens? We arrive here with some duality. Part of us wants to be here, part of us doesn't. So on a higher consciousness level, being in a physical incarnation represents that we failed the last time or the last 100 times. Maybe we didn't complete everything we were supposed to complete. Maybe we were supposed to learn certain things and we didn't learn them, etc. So that's one level. On our physical kind of survival-based level, being in a body is like, yay, I succeeded, I got a body. Yet, oh God, now I've got to go through pain and loss and death once again. So there's kind of duality there. So both of those notions trigger tremendous hopelessness. And guess what? We're afraid to allow ourselves to get in touch with that duality because, if I admitted that and felt it, I would die. It's like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself if I really know that about myself. So let's go to the next slide. And at some point, something happens and we question our choice to be here. Maybe we feel some pain, or we experience a loss, or we felt like, oh, life is too hard. It's hopeless. Or we experience an actual incident of threatened death, or even a near-death experience. A lot of this happens during those. Or we awaken to the inevitability of our own death. So moments like those might be acted upon. It's like, life is so hopeless. I don't want to be here. I'm just going to get sick, or I'm going to get in an accident, or whatever. Even just having that thought about not wanting to be here is a powerful trigger, because after all, it was so difficult. You're questioning it now. That's not okay. So let's go to the next slide. From then on, because that particular incident is judged as threatening our commitment to be here, because it was so hard to get here, we believe we have to cover that up. We have to pretend we never had that thought. So how do we do that? We deny, suppress, ever questioning being here. We do that by creating acts, numbing out, faking it. We obsessively try to prove that we really want to be here. I'm so committed to life. Life is totally fun. Look at me. I'm responsible. We set up a life where we're needed, irreplaceable, tons of responsibilities, have kids, have a job that needs us 24/7, whatever it is, to cover up that thought about, gosh, do I really want to be here? So let's go to the next slide. Is this heavy enough for you yet? And this is the important thing that happens. Because we had that thought, we believe that we need to be punished by life. And what happens then, as I always talk about, life mirrors that belief. So if I believe I need punishment, guess what life does? It says, okay, you don't deserve, you have all kinds of things happen to you that reflect that. And what else happens is life is no longer experienced as a choice, but as a duty. And that's why I call it the duty belief. Part of us believes we must stay, yet equally we believe we don't deserve to be here. We don't deserve to stay. And we live all of that in denial, suppressing that we chose to do any of this, and, quote, forgetting that we chose our life in the beginning. We're the ones that chose this. Life becomes joyless. And I have to tell you, everyone has experienced this to some degree. I don't think there's any person on the planet that didn't think, God, this sucks. Maybe we didn't get real into it and think, I don't want to be here, but there's some part of us that believes that having that thought is not okay. All of us. So let's go to the next slide. So if you are noticing right now, as I'm talking, that you're feeling triggered, okay, maybe you are like pissed off, or you're going, oh no, that's not right, I didn't do that. You feel skeptical, probably, and I would venture to say undoubtedly there's some truth in it for you. And of course, shameless plug, reach out to me and let's clear it out, because once you get in touch with all that and what you decided about yourself for having those thoughts and believing that life sucked, you can clear that out. I find that even recognizing that particular belief inside of you is empowering, because it's no longer in this little suppressed dark corner of denial. So it's really good that you heard me, and I hope that something gets triggered to want to help wake you up from all that. And my last slide, which I just had to include because it's just so funny, God, and this is a true quote from Voltaire, God is a comedian playing to an audience that's too afraid to laugh. I just love that. And I just had to put that Mona Lisa in there because she's so cute. But, again, because we're so enmeshed in the belief that we are just a physical body. It's hard to get past that. And especially if you're on a spiritual path, you know, there's not that many spiritual types that can just look around and laugh at all of it. One of the greatest ones, I think, is Ram Dass. One of his earlier books, I read this wonderful paragraph where he was approached by one of his students or one of his whatevers, and the person said to him, Ram Dass, how do you know what to look for in a spiritual teacher? How do you choose a spiritual teacher? And Ram Dass, with his wonderful grin, said to him, just look for smile lines, look for those laugh lines, because obviously that teacher has gotten the joke. So let me introduce my wonderful co-host. And here she is, hopefully. Where did Abby go? There she is. Wow. See you, Abby.
Hi, Royce. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. What an intro and what a teaching. I
Thank
miss
you.
I miss your classes so much.
Aw.
I miss being held accountable for all that information and being called out. Now I feel like maybe I'm just deflecting after hearing everything you just said. I'm
You're
like,
so
wait a
cute.
second, wait a second. Maybe it's not just a cosmic joke. Maybe everything's heavy. What? Oh no. Oh no.
Let me introduce you. You just crack me up all the time. This is Abby Lodmer and Lodmer. I always mix up those two letters, but let me tell you a little bit about her. She's just a delight. She's a credentialed teacher, certified life coach, and she calls herself the conscious comedian, bringing her wonderful, humorous spirit to spread the word about spirituality, but to do it in a light, funny way. She calls her show Humor Healing Humanity to help others remember the cosmic joke in all of it. And I'm going to ask you what that means in a minute. So her philosophy is, and I love this, is that, yeah, you have to work on healing yourself. Have to work on your evolution, but it doesn't have to be heavy and serious. And her motto is enlighten up to find the joy. And Abby found her joy by discovering her true purpose. And she uses humor to coach others, and she's just a delight. So welcome, Abby.
Thank you, Royce. What an intro. You're the one who helped me get to where I am.
Aw,
I wouldn't
thanks.
be here without you and your coaching and your enlightenment and your teachings of how to lighten up. So
Thank
thank you. Yes.
you. Okay, well, that's good to hear. So, okay, what do you mean by cosmic joke? Tell
I
us what.
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, you taught it to me. First of all, I love that your acronym PLA, Perfect Love Awakening, is another way to say play.
Yes.
And you taught us that very early on. And I didn't get it because I was so enmeshed in my depression and my upset in my life with all triggered instead of calm. So, what I mean by that is sometimes we just have to understand who we are and which soul chose to come into those parental bodies to come out as we are now and just laugh at it. Like, I understand I get triggered by certain things. It's silly, it's ridiculous. Somehow, I don't know if it was age or if it was really truly embodying your teachings or eating healthier or a combination of all of it. But as I grew older, I understood that there just comes a time to admit who we are and laugh about it instead of constantly trying to change it, constantly harping on it, and constantly being upset and beating ourselves up about who we are. So there comes a point where self acceptance allows us to play more and to be more in joy and to be more light. I think I came to a place of self acceptance where I realized that I am harsh. Sometimes I am triggered. Sometimes I see things through my periscope, and Al-Anon also helped me because Al-Anon, the 12 steps, teaches people keep it on your side of the fence and don't take things personally. You taught me that too. It's very a lot of the similar teachings. Like when you're triggered, it's you. It's not everybody out in the world trying to get you. You know, that was like so selfish that I thought that for so much of my life. Like, wow, that person's being that way just to trigger me. It's almost it's so self-centered. It's
Yeah.
like, no, that person's being that way because they've got their own triggers that they haven't worked through. um it's not about me. Let me just laugh about it and not get triggered. But if I am triggered, I can still sort of laugh it off. Okay, back to the original question. How what do I mean by um uh how am I able to just I like forgot the original question already. Be
Cosmic
more
joke. How
the
would you
cosmic
define a
joke.
cosmic
Yeah,
joke?
it's like we're here for such a short time, and we're here to just like give and receive love. And you mentioned Ram Dass. He says we're all here just walking each other home. We're here just playing and experiencing and breathing and getting to experience love and the birds chirping and funny things that happen. Luckily, because I can feel things very deeply. I won't say I'm a heavy person. I'll say I experience life very deeply, and that can also be the pain. So
Yeah.
sometimes going through life is really painful because I feel the pain of the animals, so I'm vegan. I feel the pain of the earth, so I make choices in my purchases not to buy wastefully. So, I I walk through life trying not trying not to experience pain, but making choices because I'm so sensitive. So, that being said, we are just here trying to experience joy and love. So, why not just be it's kind of a joke that everything's so heavy and that everyone is out to get me and everyone is like is triggering. It's like, no, people are characters. It's funny and entertaining. We all have our different personalities. I'll can I share an example?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So when I first started taking your classes, I had a friend who was not in your classes, and I was learning about mirrors and triggers. And I was training with this friend to run a full marathon. And someone in our group was apparently really taking a leadership role, and to my friend was really annoying and really over the top bossy, and oh, she thinks she knows what's up. She's got that timer and is acting like she's in charge of our whole group. And I'm like, I am so glad someone else took on that role because I'm exhausted and I just want to follow someone who's running faster than I am so I can just focus and follow. And I'm so glad that that leader took the leadership role. But my friend was so triggered because she is bossy and controlling and demanding leadership and can't stand it when anyone else is in the spotlight and when anyone else is getting the praise for their athleticism when she's not. So I totally saw it right then and there. I was like, oh, that's her trigger. She's getting triggered. I'm not. And I was able, because I was in your teachings and I understood that, instead of being like, oh yeah, you're right. I could totally see how bossy she is. I totally get it. Yeah, she seems so bossy and she needs the control and the power. I said to myself, oh my gosh, clearly leadership and authority and athleticism and being in their power is not my thing that triggers me, and it triggers her because she's always trying to get it and upset when she doesn't have it and when she's not in control. And I'm like, I'm a projector. I just want to project the people that are leading. You know, I like seeing people in their power. I love being in my power and want to be in my power more, and I like seeing that. So that because of your teachings, I was able to see that, and I was like, oh, I don't need to just agree that, like, yeah, she's bossy and power hungry. I was like, wait, I like her persona and I like that I can play this role. So in a way, because of your teachings, I was able to see it's sort of the cosmic joke that everyone comes in with their personalities, everyone comes in with their triggers, or we develop them through our nurture or nature. And we're able to either laugh it off or cosmic joke it off or take it really personally and do the work to shed it off.
Yes. And of course, I recommend number 3.
Yes, I do too. And I feel like I'm able to see the cosmic joke more in life because of your teachings.
Good.
I'm able to actually be more light about life because of your teachings instead of being like, oh, you're so annoying,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
So,
power hungry. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just thinking as you're talking, I see that, I get that, but it's really hard to get there when you're in the middle of it. I mean, at least for me, I still need to do the work after all these years. Yes, I still need to do the work because it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper to get to the origins of why am I attracting this person into my life? What is this about for me? Why do I still need to be, shown how undeserving I believe I am? Well, apparently so, because it does go deep. And I can't fake it. I can't, and I don't encourage people to fake it. I think it's great that you can just get to that point so easily. That's awesome. But, eventually, at least in my life, things have gotten, more down to that core. So I've got to take a look at it for me to lighten up. And it happens so fast now too. It's like, okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, fine. And then I'm able to laugh. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a process. I'm not saying I don't get triggered. I sure do. I sure do. I feel like because of your work, the work I did, I mean, for so many years, I was in your program for so many years. The work I did in Al Anon, the older I get, the more I'm able to just like let it roll off. And then, of course, if it's a pattern, oh, wait, am I letting it roll off? Am I? Am I? Okay.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
does this come up? Why? But I mean, just being able to see the mirror for me, the point of acceptance and where it doesn't hit me so deeply and where even if it's a pattern, I can work on it in a lighthearted way is that when it comes, it doesn't debilitate me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm actually just like, that's interesting. Oh, okay. There's my there's my trigger.
Yeah.
There's my overly aggressive, overly judgmental trigger. Oh, I'm attracting somebody who's really judgmental. Hi, Abby. Hi. Hi. There you are.
Yeah.
Over. Don't mind my leggings.
It's okay. Yeah. And I do
Um,
find also
yeah.
that when I do reach the point where I discover the true origins, which goes back, millennia for me nowadays,
Yeah.
I'm even able to look at that and go, oh my God, how funny. How
Yeah.
for the last 10,000 years, I've been living from that trigger, and that becomes kind of part of the cosmic joke as well.
Yeah. I love that. It's like, whoa, look at me in Ireland trying to catch a potato when I was starving and feed it to my children. Saw that vision in one of my guided regressions back with you. Yeah, it's like I was obsessed with food in this life. I had to go to a 12-step program to help me through my food addiction. And I meditated on that specifically to try to get to that trigger of like, why do I need all this food? Why do I have to shove down my emotions with food? Why am I such a food addict? And I saw that life where I was a mother with two sons and they were playing catch with a potato when it was during the famine. And it was like, oh, I'm obsessed with food because I had none. And I couldn't be PLAY full in that life. I couldn't be playful because we were starving and it was so hard. So yeah, it's like that, of course, came with me to this life. It's hard to be playful when things are so heavy and things are so hard, but
Yeah.
it's incumbent upon us to find the joy. Because what else are we doing here as you teach? We've got to clear out those past life haunts and triggers and pains, and we've got to clear stuff out to experience the joy. Because I mean, it is a conscious reminder that I give myself because I'm clearly not at that place naturally, because sometimes I am down and just depressed being alive sometimes, and I have to remind myself we are blessed to be here. It is a joy. Look for the humor, because uh whatever we focus on grows. So I'm always trying to tell God, the angels, please God, show me the joy, show me the humor, allow me to have interesting, engaging, awesome experiences in my day. And surely enough, I do. And is that deflection? Is that over the top Pollyanna affirmationing? Maybe, but it works for me. I'm still triggered, but at least it balances out because I'm asking for and focusing on the joy. I feel like before when I came to you and did all that work, I was so naturally heavy and so focused on ridding myself of the depression and ridding myself of the pain, and I wasn't focused on like, please let me see the funny. Please let me see the joy. Please let me see the irony. Please let me have an interesting experience that I can share with others to be a more interesting person, not a more downer person and a more heavy person. Like, this happened today. Let me tell you something. It really triggered me, and it, it, I really saw, and I have those friends, and I'm the funny girl in those relationships. I'm like, oh, sweetie, your higher self is just on high alert today. Like I'll like bring in the humor because it's so heavy for me. For me, that's probably again my trigger, but like I enjoy laughing and I enjoy feeling joyful and I enjoy feeling light, so I ask for it. So even if I am waking up depressed or heavy, I ask, like, please show me the joy today. Let me have an interesting, awesome experience. Let me get comedy material for my next gig. And I'm surely enough, I do, because humans are funny.
Yeah.
Animals are funny. Experiences with shopkeepers are funny, especially in my small town. So it's like, I ask and I receive. And before I wasn't asking for that. So
Yeah.
that's one way that I've been able to see the cosmic joke. Like, and when my heavier friends come at me and want to have these deep, heavy conversations, somehow I'm able to lighten that up. And it makes for my life, it makes for a more enjoyable life for me because I'm having more interesting, fun, light conversations. And I think it makes their heavy day more light too, because
Yeah.
we can just all lighten up.
So, question,
Yeah.
when you do say that to somebody, if they're going through something heavy and you say, whatever it is you say, how does that work? How do they,
Well,
what happens from that?
Well, some people once in a while will tell me in their empowered state like, "Well, I really need to get through this. I'm really feeling this deeply." But they'll okay, they'll fight for their depression or they'll fight for their deep heavy feelings. And I'll just step back and allow it to happen. It happened to me this week. I was facilitating a week-long healing retreat because really a big hat that I wear in this life is I'm a health professional and I facilitate healing and cleansing retreats. So a lot of people were going through detox from coffee and sugar and wheat and meat and dairy and eggs, and they were feeling really, really sick, and a lot of big emotions were coming up with their headaches. There were emotions and suppressed stuff with their coffee withdrawal headaches. So it came up this week. But most of the people on that retreat really appreciated my focusing on the lightheartedly saying, "Oh, sweetie, this too shall pass. Feel the pain." I mean, I would make little jokes and I'd be like, "Oh, you have a throbbing headache? Great. My presentation is might make it throb a little more, but it'll be like a drum beat. It's gonna be fun." Or like, "Oh, don't worry. Just sit at the presentation with a throbbing headache. Feel the headache and do it anyway." Like, I mean, I would just lightly say, "You know what? We all have headaches. You're in good company. You're going through detox? Join the club. Come on over. Let's all talk about it." And then of course my presentation would be fun and funny. And even if they couldn't laugh, they would be laughing inside. I could tell. But yeah, like one woman even had to say to me, but I'm really, feeling this and I'm really upset and I'm really feeling like I might have to call 911. I'm having these heart palpitations. And I'm like, I'm like, okay. And I just held her and I just held her hand and I just listened because, the humor tactic and the lightheartedness and the assurances weren't working on her. She was
Yeah.
in a real state. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a one on one, case by case, individual basis. When someone is open to the lighter side of life, they're really appreciative that I've brought that. And when someone really wants to stay in their muck, they are appreciative that I'm allowing them that space. And
Yeah.
I've learned to, so in that way, I've learned not to discount people when they really feel like they're going through something that's not passing. I'm like, okay, they really believe that this is real and they're feeling the physical pain in their body, even though, as you teach and as we know, we are just souls having a human experience. Sometimes people really are connected to that human experience and they can't see the lighter, which is the soul that wants to play and wants to experience and wants to just live an interesting, awesome life. So
Yeah.
they're like really stuck in the physical humanness of it. And I just hold space for them. And then when they're able to pass that, then we laugh.
Yeah.
I'll make them laugh.
Yeah.
Um,
That's important. Yeah. Because
it
otherwise
is.
it can get kind of suppressive. And, I find that when I work with somebody, I just let them feel all the way through and I can just see when they're done feeling. And then it's like, oh, okay. And then they're able to see the lightness of it or the joy or the ridiculousness of it.
Right.
So,
You're
yeah.
really good at that. You hold very sacred space for us. You're a master. I don't think I've become the master quite yet, but I'm working on it. I need to process my stuff a lot more to get to the Royce level of life, but I have that intention. Just the mere intention is helping me on the fly with
Good,
my clients.
good.
Yeah,
Awesome. So
yeah.
we need to take a little bit of a break, but when we come back, I want you to talk about how you discovered your humor, how you kind of allowed it to become your purpose in life. So we'll be right back. I'm talking to Abby Lodmer. Here we will talk about more.
Om Times TV. Do you want to break free from old patterns and limiting beliefs that subconsciously sabotage your life? What are your triggers and what really is beneath them? Are you seeking answers to life's big questions, intrigued by the possibility of self-discovery that goes deep? Looking for tools to help you break free from hidden sources of feeling stuck, confused, and unworthy? Perfect Life Awakening takes you on an epic inner adventure that shifts your perception of yourself, others, and life permanently. Identify and overcome the origins of subconscious triggers and limiting beliefs holding you back. That's how you transform your mindset from the roots. That's how you liberate your spirit, awaken your intuition, and discover your true purpose. Dive deep into the mysteries held within. Embark on a life-altering journey of self-discovery. Be a trailblazer within your own life. Go from triggered to empowered because you deserve a perfect life awakening. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome back. I'm talking with Abby Lodmer, and we are talking about enlightening up. And yeah, what a fascinating conversation. Thank you, Abby. I was thinking during the break that I went to school with somebody who was like the class clown. I'm sure everybody had one of those. But I would look at him and I think that guy is so sad. He's miserable. He's depressed and he's lonely and he's, just one of these really, his whole face would show it. And yet he would be cracking jokes and doing tricks on people and doing all of that. And it really taught me a lot because, think about Robin Williams or so many famous comedians that, are dying inside, So I just think that there's so much to that. I think, the part of us that doesn't want to deal with that just covers it over and is funny. And you actually even mentioned that about yourself. So, but my question is, how did you realize that you were naturally funny, or how did that manifest into your purpose in life to bring humor and consciousness to the world? How did that show up?
Well, that used to be me. I was that wind-up monkey game show host, class clown, Chris Farley, Robin Williams, totally depressed, totally insecure, totally miserable, trying to be funny so people would accept me because I felt so unworthy just being alive, just being me, that I felt like if I'm not funny, no one's gonna want to be with me. No one will accept me. However, because that was my consciousness after I worked with you and got therapy to realize. But before that, even my parents will tell me when I was a little baby, I was always funny. Like I was always acting out and doing performances and being funny. Like I just was born funny. That's what they tell me. So they say. I mean, it's a taste. It's a very for every there's an audience for everyone. Thank God, or I'd have no audience. But I think I was naturally an entertainer. Let's say that. It's funny is a judgment, but definitely always entertaining and always performing. It just came with my soul, came with that. Like I might have been a jester in some past life. And I used it to deflect and I used it to cover up the sadness and the pain a lot of my life. But then because it was innate within my soul, I grew through the work, through clearing out the triggers, the pain, coming to just accept the pain too. Like, you know what? I was born a more sensitive person. I feel the pain of animals in the earth. I feel the pain of other humans. I am naturally empathetic. I'm an HSP. I'm a highly sensitive person, whatever label you want to give it. I have always been that highly sensitive person. And I came to a place where instead of fighting it and like trying to be the game show host to cover it up, or trying so hard to like be so deep and serious so that maybe I could just be spiritual instead of pained. And maybe I could just be a shaman instead of pained. Or eventually through my work, I came to just accept I'm a more sensitive person. Sometimes things are going to hit me deeper than they hit others, which is why I'm an activist and why I get laws changed and why I save animals locally and internationally and why I'm able to help people heal from their catastrophic and chronic illness. It's that deep sensitivity that causes depression, pain, upset, triggers that also serves me because I'm able to help and I'm able to be God's hands here with that. It's a curse, but it's a gift. So that's that's um that's what happened is I somehow came to a place where I realized my sensitivity is a gift and I focus on it as a gift because it enables me to help more people, and I'm focused on being of service instead of woe is me, serving myself, focusing on my hurt, my pain, my depression, my sensitivity. There's a time for that. If you're dysfunctional and you can't move forward and you can't get up and out of bed because of your physical ailments, mental ailments, emotional problems, you need to work on that. But for me, focusing on others and how my sensitivities and my depth of feeling can serve others has served me because I feel good about myself helping people. And again, that's selfish too.
Yeah.
Well, we do everything out of selfishness. Like, I feel good giving and I feel good serving, and I feel rewarded when people heal from their ailments because of the information that I'm presenting to them. You know, it's like this retreat that I just led this week was so challenging for me as the facilitator, up all night with people with symptoms, getting barely any sleep, helping the kitchen staff with special needs dishes. They were overwhelmed and I was so drained. I mean, that's why I could barely function this morning. I'm probably rambling right now. I just got home after midnight last night, but I was so drained. And but the silver lining was that people were getting better and it made me feel good about myself and the work I was doing. So it made me able to go on. So I know there's still work to be done because it's almost like I still innately don't feel like worthy just being alive. I have to like see outside myself that others are getting healthy or laughing because my presence is there, and my presence is bringing people to smile instead of cry and be depressed. So back to your question. The class clown, um that was the question, like being, I can barely function because I'm on such lack of sleep. Being the class clown and like how it serves others instead of as a cover up, sort of not really the question.
Yeah, I think I was asking, how did it kind of emerge for you that you
Oh,
realized
well, that
this?
was it. I was just born, my soul was born funny and playful and deep and sad and deep feeling, but also funny, thank God. Because I can't imagine going through this hard, challenging human existence, this painful, devastating human existence with so much pain and trauma, and not having that light other part, which is the light.
Yeah,
And the gift of humor and the gift of, wait a second, let's see the cosmic joke in this. Let's laugh about this.
yeah,
Wait, when we die in our next life, maybe we can be more joyful. Like, let's just get through this, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah, I think I was born funny, thank God. And I was born with the gift to like laugh things off instead of take it way too heavy. Even though I do take things way too heavy, which is why I'm glad that I can also laugh. But
yeah,
yeah, I was just born that way.
yeah.
For real, for
You know,
real.
as you're talking, I'm remembering one of my students years ago who would come to class and she would share about, she would go to dinner with her friends. She had like 10 friends that every month they would go to dinner. And she felt absolutely, she absolutely believed that she needed to lighten things up for everyone. So people would share something and she'd make it into a joke and she would do all of this and she'd come home and she'd be like a mess. And so she did some inner work about that. Excuse me. And she realized, where it was coming from, needing approval or whatever it was that was triggering her. And she went to one of these dinners again with her 10 friends, and she just allowed them to be who they are. And she didn't have to jump in and rescue and make it funny. And she said it was so different from her because now she could choose to be funny. She didn't have to be funny. So I think that's really important. I think all of us, to some degree, if we feel that, I've got to make things okay for everybody, it's coming from something being mirrored that, we don't want to look at about ourselves. But when it comes from choice, like it sounds with you, that you're choosing to be funny when it's appropriate, I think that's a big difference.
Absolutely. That's how I am now. I used to be that girl. I think that was me that told you that.
No, a different one. Waiting for you to.
Kidding. It could have been me. I used to be that girl. I was the game show host. I was that fabulous Abby. But now I can be fabulous Abby for real.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I'm not even tooting my own horn. Believe me, I still have my own deep insecurities, but I'm really able to be more present and just be in the moment and hear and feel and intuit what people
Yeah.
need from me
Yeah.
and just be present because that's more enjoyable anyway.
Yeah.
It's like just enjoying my friends and their personalities and their stories and their interestingness and, you know, their experience. And I can just actually be present with them instead of thinking of the next witty thing I'm going to say or
Yeah.
like thinking of the next, what can I say to be there? I'm actually present now
Yeah.
because of the work or because I just accepted, okay, I'm a deep feeling person. I want to be funnier. I want to experience more light and joy in this life. I ask for it on the daily. Like, God, help me see the humor. Help me see the joy. Help me see the light. Help me be your hands wherever they're needed. And therefore, that's what I experience because that's what I ask for. And of course, there are hard times. And of course, there are challenging times. And of course, there are times where I want to punch someone in the face. And I can't just like accept that that's where they are and I'm annoyed and triggered, then I look at my trigger and work through it.
Look at
But
that mirror.
no, yeah, that was me. And but now I really am able to just be present and as my husband says, because we've been together for 13 years and I did all that work with you before I met him, or I never would have attracted him. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
So I he's seen me evolve in 13 years and he'll say to me, he's like, you know, he acknowledges it like you don't and he used to say in our beginning years because we're always hosting events and we're always the hub for people, which may be an overcompensation thing, but we also love hosting and we also love community and we love our friends, so we're always hosting. And he'll be like, you don't have to stay up till 2 in the morning just because so and so wants to be here yapping. You have a something to do in the morning. You don't have to over the top accommodate. Like, what else can I get you? Can I serve you this? Do you need tea? Like, let people, you've got everything out. Let people be. Let them interact. Don't check on everyone. Let them have their conversations. If they're thirsty, they know where the water is. You don't have to walk around with a pitcher. Let them be. And I started doing that. And like hosting used to be so overwhelming to me, but I would do it anyway because I probably wanted to be liked, but also I like community, but probably wanting to be accepted and liked and overcompensate. But I really do enjoy having people over now because I'm like, they're big people. They can get their own water. They know where that bowl of nuts are. They know what to do.
Yeah.
They can they can do themselves. And my husband's always reminding me of that. He's like, just be you. Like just your presence and just accepting people as they are is why people are drawn to you. And he'll say this to me because I do comedy and I do shows. He'll be like, you're naturally funny. Like you don't need to try. You don't need to write a whole, oh, look at my quips. He's like, just be you because the natural funny will come out.
Yeah.
Just being you, or just I'm quirky and I have this big personality, and that in itself is entertaining. It doesn't have to be balls out funny. It doesn't have to be Robin Williams funny, but it's just my personality follows me wherever I am. I don't have to try. And he says, as the observer, like that interview was better, or like that interaction was better. This hosting experience for both of us was better because you were just being naturally funny, naturally you. You
Yeah.
weren't trying too hard.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're kind of reaching the point where we have to kind of wrap things up. Not quite yet. We've got about 9 minutes. But how did you become as committed as you are to nutritional and veganism and all of that stuff that you do on that other side of you? How did that happen?
Well, it happened, Royce, because I was a freaking mess. Depressive, sick, acne from head to toe, mess my whole life. Um, I again, I was born as this highly sensitive soul. I used food as my drug to shove down my emotions. By the age of 19, I was bulimic and, clogging up all the toilets in my sorority, stuff like good times. College was so fun, so fun. Most people were binge drinking. I was binge eating. I was always unique like that. So I really had to get a grip. I had to drop out of college for a semester and get therapy to work through my problems. That's when I first found 12 steps. I worked through my food addiction through 12 steps. And I cut out the whites, the white flour, white sugar, white dairy, and it literally transformed my mind and my body. And I was thinking clearer. I no longer had ADHD, depression. My acne went away. Just cutting out these toxic foods changed my chemistry, my biochemistry, my mood, everything. That was when I was 20. So I was like, okay, I have to show people and help people do this. And as I've learned about more and more effective healing techniques and diets, I've healed myself even more. I've been truly able to be joyful even more because my body is not feeling inflamed and pained and clogged. And then now I follow the medical medium. I've been following his protocols to help my clients transform and heal their chronic and catastrophic illnesses for 10 years. And that's the retreat I led. It was medical medium based. And that's who I follow. My health skyrocketed to the next level. So I keep tweaking my diet in addition to the meditations and the processing and the spiritual work and the joy that I'm asking to experience in my daily life from God, from spirit. So the diet really, really, really affected me on this physical plane. It was more than the meditation, more than anything, because I was so clogged and inflamed from eating these toxic foods that are non-foods that I couldn't think straight. I was depressed. I was in the muck. And then the shift that happened from cutting those foods out was so life transforming that I just felt like I have to help others. That was my journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yay. Awesome.
Hey, keep tweaking. Keep tweaking.
We have about 5 minutes, and I'm going to put you on the spot, girl.
Okay.
I want you to give us a 3-minute sample of one of your conscious humor gigs.
Wait, was this hour not, was this not? Wait, didn't
So imagine that you're on a stage and everybody's waiting with bated breath to hear your conscious comedy. Give us one bit.
Well, I'll say I just did a routine recently for one of my friends' events to open for her musical performance. And oh my gosh, I wish I had this next to me. I had a bag of tricks like the conscious Mary Poppins. And this is true. I get purse shamed. This is not just a get. This is not my bit. I get purse shamed because my friends are so into their little trendy Chanel bags and their like fanny packs and their little satchels and their clutches. The clutch is so all the rage now with the chain, and they've got their clutches. And I have this freaking soccer mom purse. I never was even a mom. I have my dog backpack, but I'm not going to wear that out to the club or the bar or the restaurant. So, I still have my mom purse, and they're always purse shaming me. And they're like, why can't you just have a little clutch? It would go so much better with your outfit. You're hurting your shoulders. I'm like, oh, but can your clutch fit this crystal that you might need when your chakras are out of alignment? And can your clutch fit this rose water? Can your clutch fit this bottle of rose water when you need to just be spritzed? No. Does your clutch have arnica for when you bash your knee into that chair under the table like you just did? No, but I do. But I do. Does your clutch have a full-blown first aid kit? No, I do. Oh, does your clutch have ionic silver for when we're in this germy environment and need to just spray our OCD down? No, no.
That's
So,
great.
you know what? Next time you purse shame me, you need to just purse celebrate me because I'm not carrying around that clutch. What if someone needs something? What if someone breaks a nail? I have a nail clipper. What if someone needs to cut their eyebrows because there's a stray? I've got a little nail scissor for eyebrow trimming. What if someone needs a barrette or a scrunchie? What if somebody forgot their accessories and needs an extra pair of earrings? I've got them.
That
You know
is
what? So it's true. But it was a little bit I did, but I do have the Mary Poppins bag that I carry everywhere. I'm not going to ever succumb to the clutch. No. These are trends and fads. Everyone needs to go back to the mom purse because that is how you are really of service.
there you
That's
go.
what if someone needs a band-aid? What if a kid needs a sticker?
Okay. That was
Anyway.
Thank you, Abby. That was awesome. Now, how do people get in touch with you if they want your services of any kind, whether it's nutritional or comedy or whatever, how do people reach you?
If you're having a really bad day, just call me. I will deflect all your emotions and cheer you up. I will help you suppress your real emotions and just laugh.
Right.
Just kidding. You can get a hold of me at my name, www.abby, A-B-B-Y, Lodmer, Lodmer.com. Or if you're East Coast, Lodmer, whatever. My brother and my dad had a law practice together, and it was Lodmer and Lodmer. That's no joke. So yeah,
Oh.
you can get a hold of me, abbylodmer.com. You can find me on every social media platform. You can see all my videos. If you just put me into any URL, I will pop up.
Yay.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, every tube, I'm there.
Thank you so much, Abby. You are a delight. You're awesome. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, beautiful mirror.
Oh, you are welcome, other beautiful mirror. And just to remind everybody, follow me everywhere. And please read my Substack. It's called Royce's Ramblings. So take a look, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you again, Abby, and lighten up, world.
Like that. Thank you, Royce.
Thank you.
Love you, babe.